Morning. Hello everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm just going to pull up, excuse me, I'm just going to pull up all the streams necessary so that I can see comments and all those good things. Thank you for tuning in today. I am covering coronavirus and UK business updates today on my session as always. So let me just pull up all the chats. If you are tuning in on the replay, give me a hashtag replay in the comments so that I know you are here and I can come and say hello to you as well. There we go. I think I have all the streams and everything available for me to see. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Annette Ferguson. I am CEO of Annette & Co, UK-based accounting firm. I am a chartered accountant and certified Profit First professional, and we help business owners take home more money from their business for them and their families to enjoy. Now, of course, at the moment, that may be incredibly challenging for many businesses, and that is one big reason why I want to support you both during this time and beyond, and why I am doing these daily updates at 11 a.m. weekdays in order to support you and your business. So if you are hopping on, please do give me a hello in the comments. Please let me know that you are here. It is great if I know you are here and I can say hello. So please, I would appreciate some of the hello, some of the feedbacks. Good morning, James. Thank you so much for saying hello to me this morning. I do appreciate it very much. So I have a number of points to cover off this morning. I'm very croaky today, so I apologize that my being a bit funny. Good morning, Chris. Thank you so much for tuning in today. So first off, I was listening to a webinar by a team of economists at The Guardian yesterday, speaking about recession after this and what that might look like. That are under the opinion that a V-shaped bounce back is incredibly unlikely. Excuse me. I hope that's a bit better. They have said that when the OBR has spoken about a rapid bounce back happening, that is on the basis that half the restrictions would be lifted in July to September and the rest in Q4, something which the economists again feel is very unlikely, and therefore feel like a bounce back is incredibly unlikely as well. They also said that most recessions typically last 2 to 3 years to get back to pre-crisis levels. So their expectation is a recession that will last for at least 2 to 3 years until we get back to position afterwards. So that is something to bear in mind when you are thinking about your business's strategy, when you are thinking about planning and forecasting beyond this time period. What might that look like for your business? What impact might that have on your business? So to bear in mind there. Thank you for tuning in, everyone who is tuning in. Thank you so much for joining. Really do appreciate it. So thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it a lot. If you've been on my streams before, hello, Sarah. Thank you for tuning in. If you've been before and you know the value in what I share, then please do share this to your community, whether that's followers, your likers, your fans, your Facebook groups, wherever that might be you are watching. If you do know that I am sharing valuable information for people as I do each day, then please do share this out as well. I would highly appreciate it. So that is what we're hearing on from the economists around recession and what we might expect on that. The banks are saying, now this is the bounce back loans I'm speaking about now, in the bounce back loans that were announced a few days ago by the Chancellor, funding between £2,000 and £50,000 to micro SMEs with a lending period of up to 6 years. These bounce back loans should be a short application process. 1 to 2 pages is what we are being told, and it's being told that it will be paid out within 24 to 48 hours to businesses. Unfortunately, the banks are saying that it feels like the Monday launch date, the 2nd of May, as the launch date is going to be problematic. We have heard that the banks had originally expected the Chancellor to announce that the loan value was up to £25,000, and he, at the last minute, changed that to 50,000. The banks were only told an hour or so before the public was on that change of plan. And the banks are saying that this is going to cause a big problem because of the Consumer Credit Act. And the Consumer Credit Act may therefore have to be changed in order to be able for them to lend up to £50,000 come Monday when this system is due to be open. So it remains to be seen whether that will actually happen on time or not. This is obviously going to be a worry. You know, many people are very excited about this date of Monday, that they couldn't get loans before. They were struggling with the coronavirus business interruption loan scheme loans. The bounce back loans were announced. It was a savior to many to hear that it was going to be paid out so quickly and that it was coming so soon. There might be a spanner in the works here. That would be incredibly deflating for many people, incredibly upsetting for many people. And in all honesty, excuse me, and in all honesty, that delay may cost people businesses. So, excuse me. So that is going to be a problem. James is asking if I heard of anyone receiving furlough payments yet. Yeah, absolutely, James. People have been receiving furlough payments all week. The first ones started to come through on Monday morning. They pretty much are taking 6 working days from the date you submitted your claim. So James, if you submitted your claim more than 6 days ago, I would be getting in touch with HMRC if I were you to ask what's happening, because claims absolutely are coming through. There are a number of people we know have received claims already, both clients and non-clients as well. So we are hearing a lot of people are receiving their furlough money. So James, have a look at the date that you submitted or somebody submitted on your behalf and check when that was, because you should be receiving it 6 working days later. So that's important to have a look at, James, if you are in that position. The same with anyone who's in that position. If you have submitted a furlough claim more than 6 days ago now, I want to be starting to chase up HMRC on that, because people are getting paid out in 6 working days from the date that they submitted the claim. You are more than welcome. There is goals actually to extend furlough. I spoke about this before, but many bodies going to extend beyond the end of June, some days out or some kind of straight extension to stop mass redundancies happening at the end of June when we come out of this. There's been calls to extend it to September by the CIPD. As I say, there are many other businesses and many other national bodies and things asking for this to be extended. The Chancellor already said there's going to have to be some kind of phase out period of some description. We have no idea yet what that might look like or when that might happen, if it might come in July or if furlough would be extended. It will, of course, depend on when we're looking at easing lockdown restrictions as well. So that will come into general public. I don't know anything on the medical side at all, Gravity. I cannot answer those questions. This is all around the finance side of things, the economic side of things. So I cannot answer any questions medically related at all. I have no medical knowledge. I cannot answer any medical questions for you. I'm sorry about that, Gravity. The Treasury Tax and Welfare Chief, Beth Russell, has said that consideration is being given to how to support small business owners who pay themselves via a dividend. This is incredibly exciting news for the small mixture of struggle. Had a significant drop in income. There is consideration being given as to how to support these people. So some people will have furloughed in this position, but many people will have assessed that actually they can't furlough and keep their business they will have a business to come back to if they do furlough. I suspect that has to be the position most business. You can't work and furlough, we know that. Therefore, how would you be able to keep your business going and not have everything that you've built so far collapse on you if you furlough? You still want to be putting out content. You still want to be, keeping up with your past customers, your list, all those kinds of things. Furloughing as a small company director, incredibly challenging to see how people do that in reality. Therefore, many businesses in reality are unable to access financial support at this time other than the loan system. So the Treasury, Tax and Welfare Chief Beth Russell coming out and saying that this is debated, this is being assessed, is good news to many people in that position. So will be a lot of people will be on this to see what, if anything, is announced, what, if anything, comes out of that consideration as well. James is asking, on the furlough payments, do I know if payments are coming through as a lump sum or weekly increments? James, it will be based on the claim. So for whatever claim you've been, for whatever claim period, that is what will get paid out. So it will be dependent on how you have claimed and, what time periods you've claimed for each claim, then we'll get as aim. So helpful for you, James, for that furlough system, for that job retention scheme payout and what that looks like in reality. We are also hearing that the construction industry trade body Build UK has said 70% of member sites in England and Wales are opening up this week. In Scotland, the rules are different in Scotland for that, but that is what is happening in England. 70% of member sites opening up this week. Of course, any business that is opening up has to ensure the health and safety of its workers, has to ensure that social distancing can happen. This is not a thing that can be taken lightly. If you're opening your business, you have to make sure that social distancing measures can be put in place and protection can be put in place. We are already hearing of legal action being taken against businesses who were not to rules and had members of their workforce either fall ill or pass away as a result of catching coronavirus within the workplace. So this is something that you need to be incredibly aware of. If you are in the workplace, if you are opening up the workplace again for staff, please make sure that every single piece of advice around social distancing and protecting your staff members is in place, because as you are, apart from putting your staff at risk, which is, horrendous anyway, but you're also opening yourself up massively to legal issues in the future as well. I've spoken before where I believe that we are going to have a real problem after this. There's going to be a lot of stuff that comes out, private thing around where employers putting people at risk unnecessarily, all those kinds of things. But there's also going to be issues around who you've chosen to furlough, are discrimination policies being adhered to, is a discrimination act being adhered to, can you have been discriminatory in any way as a result of who you are. There's going to be lots of things like this that come out this time period. So making sure that you are adhering to all the laws that are in place for those things to try and protect you and your business as much as possible is incredibly important. Gravity is saying, do I think the stimulus initiatives released so far are sufficient to buffer the economic impact? No, they are not at all going to buffer the economic impact. Gravity yesterday about they will only buffer about a quarter economic impact, if that, of what's been happening in the economy. And we are in a long, deep recession. And of course, we were overdue a recession anyway. When we look at the cycle of recessions, we were overdue a recession anyway. It's just that you don't career headlong into a recession and plummet quite to the same extent that we have as a result of coronavirus. Typically, everything does not just suddenly shut down, and that experienced over the last few month and a half. That's typically not how you go into a recession. Typically, you go into a recession with a period of and that works, not a complete career into a crisis situation, which is exactly what we've had. We've had careering into a crisis situation, and that is, going to, like I've said all along that I believe it a long recession, a deep recession, and we have to, in our businesses, understand what that means for our business and for our strategy forward as well at the same time. I hope that answers your question. Experts have warned that a second wave of coronavirus, if we open up again and we have a second wave come through, experts have warned that will be an absolute disaster for the housing market. They say that fear will spook the market and affect buyers and also affect banks' ability to lend. This is again something that I've spoken about over the last couple, is that with these loans that are being put out for business, with people doing things like mortgage payment holidays on the bank's liquidity ratio and restricting the ability they have to lend, full stop. Therefore, it will restrict the ability they have to lend for mortgages. It will restrict the ability that they have to lend for things like bridging loans and things that are needed in order for people to move house and order for the housing to operate, basically. It's going to have a big knock-on effect in that because of all its increased lending and because of the issues that they were liquidity ratios as a result. Anyone got any questions? Please do ask if you have questions. I'm going to check. Let's have a look. Okay, any other relevant questions at the moment? But please do ask me in the comments if you do have any questions, anything on this you're wondering about, or anything in relation to UK that you are wondering about. Please do let me know in the comments, and I will those questions. For those of you that are just hopping, this is my update on UK business and coronavirus. Every weekday at 1 a.m. covering exactly that. So please do ask any questions in relation to that you may have. We've also heard that UK manufacturing is down to its lowest capacity utilization on record, 60%, and the UK's level is one of the lowest in Europe. This has to have a knock-on impact again because we're already seeing a spike in as a result of this. So this is going to cause an increased problem with unemployment. Can factories be, what's happening with repairs and those kinds of things? Well, going to have a knock-on effect, as we know. And being one of the lowest in Europe is a bit of a concern as well at the same time. Let's have a look. I've got somebody on married to team. Yeah, that is a concern. That is a concern. Gravity. We've heard that heard from HSBC yesterday that their profits have significantly dropped. All the banks are basically releasing their Q1 data over the next couple of days. We are expecting losses. We haven't heard on that yet. We're expecting them to post losses, and a number of banks are that they will have significant drops in profit this quarter. So yeah, bank stability has to come under question. There is a lot of pressure being put on the bank and a lot of lending being required of the banks. And that is going to be a problem. That is going to be a problem. And there is a question around bank stability without a doubt. And I would say to people that if you do have, money sitting in bank accounts over the financial service compensation amounts, you might want to be looking at putting them in separate banks so that you can spread your risk and make sure you're covered by that, because bank stability has to come into question when lending defaults are so high. So, mortgage payment holidays, people then just defaulting anyway, as well as the additional lending capacity that they're having to provide, not only for small businesses, but also for large businesses as well. Large businesses have had a problem in getting their lending as well, in the same way that this is happened. Many large retailers have had severe issues in getting lending under their scheme that has been announced. But we do need to be wary of bank stability at this time, without a doubt. I just covered my point actually about banks are being reluctant now to lend UK retailers. Banks are also, wary of those businesses who were actually struggling before the pandemic hit. So the businesses that were struggling before this and are now asking for lending to support them during it. And rightly so for the banks to be wary of this, because the purpose of these loans at the moment, whichever one you're looking at and whichever size of bar, the purpose is to support businesses who have been affected by coronavirus. The problem that we are seeing is businesses who already had issues before, who already had financial ability issues, are now, here's my line, I can get this loan and it doesn't matter, particularly for smaller 80% by the government, 100% by the government, actually I'll just take this loan. Whereas actually that is a real problem, because if a business wasn't financially viable before and able to make loan repayments before, what on earth makes anyone think that after we come out of this, they will be able to make loan payments and they will be financially viable? Because if they weren't able to operate a financially viable business in a boom time, and it was a boom time before we came into the recession, how are they going to be able to operate a financially viable business in a recession when we come out of this situation? They now have debt and they know payments to make. I think it's very, very concerning, that situation that exists. Both the individual companies who are looking at this loan as their lifeline, even though they weren't financially viable before, and also from the bank's position, the increased exposure, the increased chance of default, and all those things as well. Of course, with the loans, the default risk is on the government, and with the coronavirus loan schemes, 80% of the default risk is on the government, but there's still bank exposure and still bank lending exposure. So that is going to cause a problem as well. I think I've covered everything on my list today. Let me just check the questions, if we've got any more questions as well. Thank you so much, everyone that has joined me. I do really, really very much appreciate your time. You ask as well are always appreciated. And I'm more than happy to receive questions on these live sessions. My next session is tomorrow. I am going to, let me just check that I'm able to do 11 a.m. again tomorrow. So I will be back wherever you are watching this. I usually also go live Instagram. I am live at the moment on YouTube, Periscope, Twitter, Facebook, within my Uncover Wealth community, my private Facebook group, which I would love all of you to come and join if you are not already in. And we are live on TikTok. We are not live on Instagram this morning. There was some tech issues getting live on Instagram this morning, so Instagram has unfortunately missed out, but I am usually live there as well. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate your kind words very, very much. If you're not in the Uncover Wealth community, please do come and join me in there. You can search Uncover Wealth community in the Facebook bar. It is my community of business owners. Please come and join me. I would love to have you in there. I do exclusive trainings in that group, and when things are announced, that is the first place I announce them. Comes out from the Treasury or anything like that. That's the first place that I will announce them, is the Uncover Wealth community before anywhere else. So please do come and join me in there. I would love to have everyone in there that is tuning in. As I said, I'm back tomorrow, same time, same place, on Instagram. Instagram too. Hopefully the Instagram feed will work again tomorrow. Whilst I'm here, I would love to share with you about Uncover. So that is my podcast. Check it out on iTunes or Spotify and just search Uncover Wealth Radio for either of those. And I also have exclusive content on the podcast, not share anywhere else as well. So please do come over there and subscribe too. I would love to see you there. I'm looking forward to seeing everyone tomorrow again. 11, I am live weekdays at 11 a.m. typically for around half an hour covering coronavirus and UK business updates. So I will be back tomorrow. I hope you can all join me then. Do pop it in your calendars, pop it in your diaries, turn on your notifications on whichever platform you are. You know I am live, and I will speak to you all again tomorrow, everyone.